Hey Blipsounds, Brian Seeley here for the June sound design contest, and we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this month. But before I get into the contest, I want to acknowledge that these last few weeks here in the US have been very difficult. We have dealt with the untimely murders of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. To our friends and to those in the Black community, we at Blipsounds want to say that we see you, we hear you, we love you, and we stand with you. Black lives matter. We shouldn't have to say that in 2020, but here we are. Our hope at Blipsounds is that we continue to be a community where people feel welcomed, where people feel invited in, but also a community where we elevate Black creators, where we acknowledge that every one of us comes into this from a diverse background and that we celebrate that diversity. That we're not colorblind, but that we see diversity for what it is. And to our community, if Blipsounds has not felt like a community where you can be invited in, please let us know that. Please let us know that so that we can be better at that. Now, for the June contest, rather than redoing some amazing, awesome attack from a video game, this month we will be redesigning the user interfaces from Doom and from Animal Crossing. The additional challenge for this month is that the only thing we can use to record is our mouths. So any sound that you can make with your mouth is what we're using. So without further ado, let's check out the breakdowns and stay tuned afterwards if you want to hear more about the rules of the contest.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Joshua Mallard here, and I'm back for another month. Now, this month's really interesting. We're doing UI sound effects for Animal Crossing and Doom, but only using mouth sounds. Let me show you what I did really quick. Alright, so I have a time limit on this video, so I'm going to give you the good stuff right away. So I did a lot of mouth recordings, a lot of which did not end up in the final sounds. So some white noise. Alright, I also did some pops and clicks. You'd be really surprised how much variety you can get out of that. Now here's my secret weapon, some jaw snapping. Now I think what makes Doom really interesting is the original is super minimal. So what I think a good approach is even if you take the minimal approach and have a very limited amount of sounds, adds a lot of character to those short bursts of sounds. So here's an example. So you hear that. Those little sci-fi clicks are really, let me expand this, are really my jaw snaps. If I turn off the effects, you'll be able to hear that. Just like that. So what I'm doing on these is I'm doing the standard stuff, pitch shifting, but the secret weapon I sort of have is frequency shifting to really change the timbre, to make it more of a higher pitch sound, like a mouse click kind of thing. And then I add a phaser, and the phaser adds a lot of those sort of warbly sounds, and the frequency shifter in those two really add a lot. So if I were to just unsolo and show you, so you go with that, a really high pitch sound from there, and then you add the phaser, and you get that sort of chorusy effect. So that's really a good idea. If you have these short articulated sounds, you can add a little bit of a phaser and some frequency shifting to get more out of them with the timbre. Otherwise, a lot of this is just the whooshes, and those are just the white noise. Some white noise layers with some reverb and lowering their pitch. Animal Crossing is where it gets a bit more difficult, and I think Animal Crossing has a pretty minimal UI sound set for the most part, but there's some really standout sounds, and I tried to replicate those. Here's an example. See that right there? There's so many sounds in that moment and so much emotional content that you need really dynamic sounds. So you need to be careful where you place them and really watch that animation. So like we have this little build-up thing for that scroll bar on top. And then we even have some extra textural stuff for when that jumps out. This sort of like anime-esque happy sounds. And then even when that pig is sort of fading in, we have just the jaw clicks fading in to match that. So really matching the animation and adding that sort of comedic, that gestural quality that really sells the emotional content. Otherwise, I just did a lot of mouth pops for these little scrolling, and that barely has any effects. That's straight from my mouth, so you don't really have to do too many effects to get a really good sound. Anyways, that's it for now. Good luck to you all, and I'll see you next time.
All right, welcome to my breakdown for the June contest where we're redoing the UI. We're redoing Doom and Animal Crossing. Let's go ahead and check out my sound. So for the two different sounds, I wanted the Doom sound to be very aggressive and reminiscent of Doom. So when I thought of Doom, I thought, heavy metal guitars, the quick gameplay, just something that sounded aggressive. And then for Animal Crossing, I wanted something that sounded cute and sweet and adorable. And because it's a Nintendo Switch game, I wanted it to feel, something like Nintendo. So that was my mode of thinking going into this. I also employed a strategy for both Doom and Animal Crossing, something that I'm blatantly stealing from Proximity Audio, and that was loading up the sounds into a sampler and then just using MIDI to plug in the sounds rather than trying to place every single waveform. So the clicks I'm using, I pretty much use resample for all of these. So the clicks is just a recording of me just going, and then I placed the sample in there. Same with the guitar sounds, which is just a sound of me just going like, bah, or something like that. And then running them through Amplitude through a dual rect. And that was for both of these sounds because I wanted to do them in stereo. I tried it in mono, but it felt more, for me, it felt better being in stereo. And I wasn't worried about the stereo field because in the menu screens for both videos, there wasn't really any music playing. So I wasn't worried about messing up the stereo field. So without the Amplitude, this is just what it sounds like. And then as you heard with the Amplitude, so that was fun to do that. I also added in a blah on the menu screen, blah, and then I pitched it down an octave, put on some reverb and some berserk distortion to get that, just to, again, give it this aggressive feel to it. And then same thing for Animal Crossing, using resampler and then using MIDI to track all the different click sounds. And for these ones, I wanted the click to feel more fun. So these clicks go through different pitch changes. And I really like the idea in Animal Crossing where whether you're going left or right or up and down in the UI screen, it makes different clicks, and I wanted to capture that. I thought that was really brilliant. And when I was watching the video, when they did a little congratulations, I imagined having like a little yay in there. And then this little was a happy accident. So I recorded it out, but I put this woo through the meta filter from Waves and just tried a couple different settings until I got to something called Horror Show. It had this really nice sound to it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see what you all create. Now, as for the rules of the contest starts on the first Friday of the month, which is June 5th, and will run all the way to the last Friday of the month. After that, we will do a live stream on one of the following weekends where we'll try to go through as many, if not all of the videos. And from there, we will select 3 winners, a judges winner, a community winner, and a random roll. Load your video up onto Twitter or YouTube or any other video sharing site, and then share that on Twitter, tagging Blipsounds with the hashtag BlipsoundComp. This way we'll be able to find your video and review it. Also, if you're not already a member of our Discord, there should be a link down in the video, whether it's on YouTube or any other social media platform, to join our Discord page. There, other community members will be sharing their work and reviewing each other's works, and some of us will be floating around and giving our thoughts on it as well. I hope you all have fun with this month's challenge, and I hope that this month's challenge offers a nice respite from everything. And as always, I can't wait to see what you all create this month. Hope you all have a wonderful June. Peace out.